Is Sara Biden the financial maestro behind the Biden family saga? How do $250,000 checks to Joe Biden fit into this convoluted puzzle? And why is the House Oversight Committee eyeing her like the ultimate VIP guest? Let's find out.
Welcome to TFI Global, the antidote to mass delusion.
Sarah Catherine Jones, who married into the Biden family nearly 30 years ago, has been surrounded by controversy ever since. Her marriage to Jim Biden in 1995 was soon followed by employment with one of Joe Biden's Senate donors. This individual later accused her of fraud and unjust enrichment as detailed in court documents obtained by Real Clear investigations. Over the years, Sarah and her husband have faced allegations of not fulfilling debt obligations and neglecting tax payments, according to court and property records. Similar to their nephew, Hunter Biden, they are said to have offered access to the influential family member to various companies, some of which have gone bankrupt and are linked to countries adversarial to the US. Currently, Sarah Jones Biden has become a significant person in the expanding scandal involving the Biden family's foreign influence activities. GOP lawmakers are currently focusing on Sara Biden, a 64-year-old licensed attorney, in their investigation of President Biden for possible impeachable offenses, including bribery. Their interest is particularly piqued by bank records showing nearly $250,000 in checks written by Sarah to her brother-in-law Joe, labeled as loan repayment. These lawmakers are probing the source of these loans and if they are connected to alleged Biden influence peddling schemes with China. The House Oversight and Judiciary Committees have sent Sarah a letter demanding detailed interview about these payments. Similarly, her husband has received a subpoena for testimony and information. While Hunter and Jim Biden's dubious business dealings have been scrutinized, Sarah's role has been less noticed until now. However, court records and other documents highlight her long-standing involvement in the Biden family business. Her and Jim's pursuit of a lavish lifestyle has often led them to entangle with dubious individuals and ventures, resulting in legal disputes and criminal probes. Significantly, Joe Biden's involvement is under scrutiny. Documents from America First Legal, obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request, reveal extensive communication between the former Vice President Biden's office and Sarah and Jim's business, Lion Hall Group. This contradicts Biden's claims of being uninvolved or unaware of his family's business activities. Sara Biden's connection to Joe Biden dates back to the early 1990s. She initially worked with Senator Wendell Ford, a close friend of Joe Biden. Joe Biden acknowledged this relationship following Ford's death in 2015, noting Ford's role in Sarah's career and her meeting Jim. Sarah and Jim Biden were not just a couple but also business partners. Known for their extravagant life, in 1997, they founded the consulting firm Lion Hall Group with assistance from Joe Biden's former law partner David Walsh, who acted as their registered agent. This was documented in incorporation records with the Delaware Department of State. In 1997, Sarah and Jim Biden purchased an upscale home in the Philadelphia suburbs. However, they faced difficulties in paying their $650,000 mortgage. Records indicate that Joel Boyarsky, a long-term Democratic fundraiser for then-Senator Biden, lent them up to $200,000. By 1998, the IRS filed a lien against their property to recover $145,000 in unpaid taxes. In 2000, they borrowed $353,000 from Leonard Barak, a Philadelphia attorney and another Biden donor. Barak had previously agreed to hire Sarah at Jim's request, offering her a yearly salary of $300,000. Court and other records indicate Barak later came to regret this decision. According to a 2004 lawsuit filed by Barak in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Jim Biden had convinced him that hiring Sarah would attract clients to his law firm through their political connections. The lawsuit alleged that Jim Biden promised to bring business to the Barak law firm, leveraging his family name and resemblance to his father, Senator Joseph Biden. However, the lawsuit claimed that Sara Biden instead focused on developing business for Lion Hall Group, where she was president, without disclosing this potential conflict of interest to Barak. The law firm, also known as Barak, Rodos and Bassan, accused her of using its resources for personal gains. The lawsuit details Sara Biden spending nearly $250,000 on travel with her husband and their son, Nicholas, now 26, including a nanny, on lavish trips across Europe and the US without generating any business for Barack law firm. Furthermore, the couple reportedly received a total of $500,000 in loans before Sara left the firm in 2003, which they allegedly never repaid. The lawsuit charged Sara and Lion Hall Group with fraud, unjust enrichment, and breach of contract. The case was eventually settled, with the terms remaining undisclosed. In 2000, Vice President A.I. Gore and HUD Secretary Andrew Cuomo announced a $2 million partnership with Northpoint Communications to expand broadband internet access to over 800 low-income urban neighborhoods. To gain political support for the necessary FCC telecom development licenses, Northpoint invited Sara Biden to its board alongside Hunter Biden, who was then the executive director of e-commerce policy at the Commerce Department, appointed by President Clinton. While Sara Biden's lobbying role for Northpoint is unclear, she did contribute $1,200 to Northpoint's PAC, People for Digital Competition, in 2000. She is not listed in federal lobbying disclosure records as a registered lobbyist. Northpoint filed for bankruptcy in 2001. Years later, another Biden donor hired her and Lion Hall Group to lobby for a bill addressing tobacco-related medical claims. Senator Biden supported this bill, although it ultimately failed in the Senate. The donor, Mississippi attorney Dickie Scruggs, introduced Sara Biden to associates Steve Patterson and Timothy Balducci, who proposed making her a partner in a new lobbying firm, Patterson, Balducci, and Biden. However, the venture collapsed when Patterson and Balducci, along with Scruggs, were indicted on federal bribery charges, leading to their imprisonment. Subsequently, Biden had to return their donations. The Biden bungalow, accommodating the entire Biden family, including Joe, also became a symbol of financial strain. In 2013, the IRS imposed another lien on Sara and Jim Biden for $589,000 in unpaid taxes. Additional state and local tax liens have been recorded against them, as indicated by property records. Sara and Jim Biden purchased a $2.5 million luxury vacation home in Naples, Florida, known as the Biden Bungalow, used by the entire Biden family, including Joe Biden. However, they accumulated significant debt while renovating this property and began seeking financial assistance. With a combined $700,000 in tax and vendor liens, the Bidens quickly found support from John Hansky, a Delaware-based millionaire car magnate and major Biden donor. Over the following years, Hansky provided the Bidens with loans totaling $900,000. During this time, as Joe Biden served as vice president and led U.S. policy in Ukraine, a federal lending agency, OPIC, approved loans used by Hansky's company to construct a 7,300 square foot Porsche dealership on the main highway connecting Kiev to Boryspil International Airport. Initially, mortgage records listed the lender for Jim and Sara Biden as 1018PL LLC, obscuring the actual source of the loans. However, a 2018 document revealed that the corporate entity is controlled by Hansky. In 2018, the Bidens sold the waterfront house at a loss. Hansky released his lien on the property, but he did not acknowledge the full payment and satisfaction of the loans, as per the documentation in Collier County, Florida. Hansky was not the only benefactor for the Bidens. The couple also became involved with a struggling hospital chain, which subsequently experienced severe financial difficulties. Another individual linked to Biden is Joey Langston, a convicted Mississippi lawyer. Records indicate that Langston made payments to the Biden's Lion Hall Group shortly after unsuccessful attempts to clear his criminal record for bribery. As the Bidens faced financial difficulties with hurricane-related repairs on their beach home and sought a buyer, they reached out to Joe Biden's old acquaintances from Mississippi. Among them was Joey Langston, a Mississippi lawyer previously imprisoned for trying to improperly influence a judge. Langston introduced them to the founder of AmeriCorps Health, who was seeking funds to expand his rural hospital chain. Court documents and reports suggest that Jim Biden touted his brother's influence to secure investment, leading AmeriCorps to hire Lion Hall Group and loan $650,000 to Jim and Sara Biden for personal use. Leading AmeriCorps to hire Lion Hall Group and loan $650,000 to Jim and Sara Biden for personal use, This occurred while Americorps was losing money, eventually leading to layoffs after the company failed. However, after receiving the loan, the Bidens withdrew from the venture and the promised investment did not materialize. Americorps' medical partners sued Jim Biden and Lion Hall Group following Americorps' bankruptcy in 2019. Court filings allege that Jim Biden, using the family name, made false promises. AmeriCorps trustees are attempting to reclaim the $650,000 from the Bidens in bankruptcy court. Jim Biden's attorney states that half the amount has been repaid to settle the dispute. Meanwhile, the FBI is investigating the AmeriCorps collapse for criminal fraud, with Jim Biden's involvement under scrutiny. It's unclear if Sara Biden has been questioned. She did not respond to inquiries. Regarding the financial transactions, a $40,000 check from Sara to Joe Biden corresponds with the 10% for the big guy arrangement described in Hunter Biden's laptop. This refers to Joe receiving $40,000 from the $400,000 Hunter received from the Chinese. At the same time, Hunter Biden was transferring significant sums to his uncle Jim and aunt Sara. Starting in summer 2017, large wire transfers from Hunter to Lion Hall Group began, some ending up in Joe Biden's account. These funds originated from CEFC China Energy linked to Chinese military intelligence. Lion Hall received $1.4 million from Hunter over a year. On August 14, 2017, Hunter wired $150,000 to Lion Hall after receiving $400,000 from a joint account with CEFC. On August 28, Sara withdrew $50,000 from Lion Hall's account, depositing it into her and Jim's account. On September 3rd, she wrote a $40,000 check to Joe Biden labeled as loan repayment, representing 10% of the $400,000 from the Chinese venture, mirroring the arrangement found in Hunter's laptop emails. In a recent development, the House Oversight Committee has scrutinized another personal check to Joe Biden, penned by Sara Biden but seemingly signed by James Biden. This check, amounting to $200,000 and dated March 1, 2018, aligns with the same day Jim Biden received an identical sum from AmeriCorps, with a memo-like marked as loan repayment. The nature and specifics of these alleged loans between Joe Biden and his sister-in-law remains unclear. The White House has not provided any information regarding the purpose or terms of these loans, including interest rates. A White House spokesperson has dismissed the release of these bank records as part of a smear campaign against the president, orchestrated by Republican investigators, without elaborating on the transactions in question. Paul Fishman, an attorney representing Jim Biden, has stated that there is nothing irregular about the transactions in question, asserting there is nothing more to these transactions and there is nothing wrong with them. However, these wire transfers have attached scrutiny. Wells Fargo, the bank handling Hunter Biden's transactions, raised concerns about the transfers to Lion Hall Group, particularly noting the residential nature of the address and the familial connection to Sara Biden. The bank questioned the purpose of these transactions and the nature of Lion Hall Group's business. Hunter Biden's response to the bank's inquiries were deemed unsatisfactory, leading to the transactions being flagged as potential financial crimes, including money laundering. This prompted the U.S. Treasury Department to issue a series of suspicious activity reports. When Sara Biden was questioned by her bank about the substantial transfers, she claimed they were for intentional consulting work. Notably, neither Sara nor her husband is registered with the Justice Department as foreign agents. Sara Biden declined to provide any supporting documentation for these claims, resulting in the bank closing the Lion Hall account, as detailed in a 2020 Senate report. Impeachment investigators, as reported by RCI, have expanded their inquiry into the Biden's financial dealings. They have subpoenaed bank records from multiple financial institutions, including Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, HSBC, Cathay Bank, and Wells Fargo. This move indicates a broadening of the investigation to encompass a range of banking activities and transactions. Additionally, a Senate report highlights that Jim and Sara Biden benefited from a $100,000 line of credit opened by a CEFC executive for Hunter Biden in September 2017. Following the issuance of credit cards to Hunter, Jim, and Sara, records indicate they emerged in significant spending. The expenses covered by these cards included plane tickets, hotel accommodations, and electronic devices, suggesting a pattern of lavish expenditures. House impeachment investigators, as reported by RCI, are closely examining Sara Biden's role as a potential financial intermediary. They're investigating whether President Biden benefited from Chinese funds as part of a suspected foreign influence peddling scheme. Concerns are raised about how this could impact his decision making and national security. Investigators are also keen to understand the extent of Biden's interactions with Lion Hall Group, a business associated with Sara Biden during his tenure in office. Congressional investigators suspect that Lion Hall, established by Joe Biden's former law partner, may have been used as a vehicle for laundering potential bribes to Joe Biden. They highlight significant financial transactions from Joey Langston, a Mississippi donor and associate for Biden, to Lion Hall during Biden's vice presidency. Following Langston's failed appeal in February 2016 to overturn his bribery conviction and clear his criminal record, his firm, Langston Law Firm Consulting Incorporation, began transferring funds to Lion Hall. Between March and October 2016, these payments totaled $187,000. Investigators are seeking Langston's testimony to clarify these payments' nature. Efforts to contact Langston for a response have so far been unsuccessful.